Okay, I'd like to call the meeting to order for January 20th, 2026 at 6 p.m. here at the town hall. I need a motion to adopt the agenda. Do we have any changes or corrections? Hearing none, do I have a motion to accept?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion. I need a motion to approve our minutes of a regular meeting on January 5th, 2026.
So, second.
All in favor of the minutes?
Aye.
Okay, thank you. Travis, highway report, open, we can do the bids first?
Want to do that?
Yeah.
Okay, a bunch of numbers here. I see a total price of unit. $221,625. Need a down payment of $50,000. Unpaid cash balance would be $171,625.
Where's this one from?
Oh, yeah, it's ATG, Advantage Truck Group.
Is that 50,000 trade-in?
I wonder. Yeah, net trade equity, correct, yep, that is the trade.
What was the first price?
$221,625.
And 50,000 for trade-in,
50
right?
for the trade. 50 or 55?
But, oh,
50, yeah, 50 even.
Okay.
And they're out of. I didn't say really. No, Westminster.
so this is eight. And this is the same place where we would get a repair, should that,
Correct.
Yeah, do you
Right.
maintenance too?
that I'm reading in this.
Any questions?
That doesn't have a delivery time on it, does it?
A bunch of pages in here, Bill expense.
So this is the only bid for truck 4.
The only one I got. Is this the one the dump body might not be registered? Is this the one that dump body might not be ready for a period of time?
Well, that's truck, the other truck as well.
Yeah, that's truck 4.
Well,
This is truck.
The one where the body's not ready,
That's,
this is that.
this is
oh,
that.
it's the same one.
No.
I'm getting them mixed up.
I have two.
Looking at it. Truck 4.
Yeah, this is.
This is for the oil leaky truck, but didn't we also, aren't we also just as a matter of course getting another truck?
Yes, truck number 3 is what we're waiting on.
Okay, and that one also had the delayed body thing.
Yes,
Okay, just to be clear.
that one's delayed until mid-May.
And we're not getting that one from ATG, we're getting that one from that.
Benson.
Benson, that's it.
Yeah, that's essentially the pickup.
Right, it's a entirely different situation, so Benson is not in the business of this kind of a truck.
And that's the one that has 25,000 for trade.
That's a,
That was pretty good.
you got a good deal, it felt like. on that.
There was a denial letter from another company. Did I put that with? It should have been like
Oh,
an email.
This was not a bid, but a declined a bid.
Yeah,
is it this one?
bid.
Town of Grafton is out of our area of responsibility, therefore we will not be submitting a bid. It was Western Star.
I think we were out of like upstate Vermont.
Rochester.
No, Milton, yeah, that's way up there. How's that? So Vermont.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a weird way of phrasing it. Yeah.
So in general, what's your feeling about this bid?
Well, I'd like to go over it with Travis, and I got some questions, and I'm sure he does too. And one of them is a trade in the 50,000. They know that we have a problem with the truck we're trading in. So what effect does that have on the trading? And also, what is the delivery approximately of the truck?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's just-
I don't
So,
know if they're gonna
it's
have
paid when. Yeah,
fire trucks.
Yeah, and also, you know, when would you pay? Maybe over
Yeah.
a year out.
Right.
Pay cash.
John and I talked about that and then we had a committee meeting and,
yeah,
yeah, we wouldn't wanna start paying until we had an entire truck. Right, a body and.
I know Dave
Until you
said
take
today, he
delivery.
thought maybe it might not be 2 years, it might be less, but
Like we could link up with Craig Allen, salesman
Yeah.
too, and give a better idea. But
so
yeah,
I gotta go to Springfield in the morning.
Yep.
But when I come back, I'll come up and see you.
okay.
So, sorry,
I was just gonna ask about the repair
I guess that's.
that's needed now. If we do that repair, isn't that gonna increase a little the value of the truck?
Don't know, that's my question to them, I don't even think it, but I think what you're gonna have to do, you're gonna have to fix it no matter what.
Yeah.
Right,
Because you're not gonna get that truck for a while.
right.
And once you fix the truck, then you can use it for the next year or 2 years. You know, the thing is, you're faced with a 2025 truck and a 2027 body, so. Yeah, it's gonna make too much sense.
Which
And it's-
is push out replacement too. You
Yeah.
know, if you didn't receive it for a year, you could
Yeah.
push out, but
we don't know yet.
but we don't know. Yeah.
I think we gotta ask those questions.
So, yeah, I think we need to know, would we not have to make payments until we have the whole truck, right? And then I do think going back to repair, then we probably ought to do that and do it right. For a couple reasons. One, because we're probably gonna have to use the truck for a while longer. And if the trade-in of 50K is from the same place that would be doing the repair and they know about it,
Yeah,
you know, we wanna maintain that.
Well, the ATG said they wouldn't repair, am I understanding this email correctly?
The Band-Aid fix,
Say it again,
it was like a Band-Aid fix that we were hoping to do.
okay,
Until we went for an estimate, they were not comfortable doing that.
Yeah, they wanna replace.
so we would
Place it.
need to go to the two other places that you have in this email?
no, I don't have to do that, no.
We could go to ATG.
They wouldn't do a half repair.
Oh, I see,
Full
They
repair,
would
which is
replace the seals and not the rest.
16,000 or 22,000?
13,000.
13,000.
Well,
but I see 12 here, but I guess I don't have maybe the most recent email.
But when we're talking about it, it sounds like probably doing the full repair is the
Full
right thing to
repair,
do.
yeah.
Because it's
Yeah.
it's gonna last longer. ATG would know about it and for the trade-in value. And if you just do the seals, there's a chance it's contaminated, it will happen
And
again.
it could be a waste of the temporary fix completely anyways.
I don't think it's a long job if they have the parts.
They seem, if they have the parts, it'd be a day possibly. two.
Yeah,
Well, yeah.
which that's good. Kim, do you know, were we gonna lease this? We were, weren't we?
I don't think anybody's discussed that in further. I don't.
I already had it.
Yeah, I thought we were gonna use,
leased.
because we questioned why we're leasing anymore, we had but we're gonna keep on leasing.
Yeah. Okay.
Have we done kind of a lease versus buy comparison?
Well, we kind of know what it is, but Hardy said most of the towns are going leasing, and that's what he's figured into his 5-year projections, is leasing.
And I
It does
think,
come to like 20, what do we figure one time, at least 20,000 in interest?
I think the way the capital budget's configured now is for leasing.
Okay. I'm buying I've never leased a dump truck before, so I know if you lease a car, there's some restrictions on how much you use it, is there anything like that?
No, I'm not on the municipal vehicles
Okay.
that I've seen yet.
That's what I've always been,
That
my
we've
biggest
done.
problem against leasing is the, when you hit a.
Mileage,
mileage,
yeah.
Well, we haven't leased, equipment we leased, but we haven't leased any vehicles yet.
We tried
We tried the truck and then we paid it off.
paid it off,
Yeah.
yes. Yeah, that would be somewhere around probably 35,000 a year.
For purchase, as opposed, what's,
For leasing.
For leasing.
for leasing? Do we know how much a year for,
Yeah,
for fine? Depends on the law.
The kids have a lot of interest, right?
And this is capital budget, right?
huh?
Capital budget from capital budget. And this bid is for 2025 truck,
Any,
Do,
what?
That bid that you just read?
the one you just read, is it, you said something about 2025, is that?
Is it a 2025 year?
Yeah,
he's joking about the year, the truck and the year.
but the body's different,
You open it.
it's gonna be
It's
older,
like,
I mean.
Johnny Cash song, 46,
No,
47.
no,
But it may not be that, they may be able to do it 6 months, so
Yeah, which is one of the questions.
that's what you need to ask them.
How long, and then do we not have to pay till?
2027. The year,
What they got,
2027.
wow,
Oh,
they'll figure it on the body. Get out there,
we're the 2027 truck, no, 2025 truck,
they're 2027.
oh,
when
2027,
new 2027 is coming out, they actually come out 2026.
So we gotta ask them that, that's. So did they give a bid number?
Yeah, we need to know the dates, I guess.
I looked at the price of 2037.
That's what I wanted to do.
What's up?
Well, I think you,
How are they pricing in 2027?
well, if you went and shop for a car this spring, they would be showing you 2027.
Yeah, that's, I don't know if they do that with trucks, but they do that.
Yeah, they do with cars, I don't have any idea.
Let us go over it and then we'll come back in
Ex-
2 weeks and
Really?
discuss it.
And would HEG, do they offer lease and buy? Or would it, would they just say, here's comparison for it, if the outfit?
We did go through them with the other check. And they financed through a third party for leasing,
Yeah.
but we could ask those questions.
Maybe we should, just finish. We'd have a good idea, and that makes sense.
any other comments on truck number 4?
So we know about the seal, is anything else going on with it, or is everything else is good?
Minor, he had some warranty items that came out this past week. But he's scheduled to go in next week, then he goes with all covered. Get a few bolts for the leaf springs on each side, loosened up.
ATG's,
Fun job.
Yeah, but
ATG's been really fair with us, I mean, overly fair.
they're close and yeah.
Right,
Yeah, my gut feel on equipment is do it right, and then.
Yeah.
If you do it the right way, it'll probably fail.
there's a couple other things, but Travis, do you wanna talk about how things are going so far with the roads and any issues?
No major issues, the only thing is salt's been hard to get.
Mhm.
I reached out to a company in New York and they are not accepting new customers. I think that's from everyone being out down here, reaching out to them.
Mhm.
So I think next year if we do order some from them and then some from Cargill to keep them both happy. And then we're not limited to one supplying.
Yeah,
We probably have enough for 4 to 5 storms at this point. I call if not every day, every other day, try to get them, but keep breaking them.
and you had mentioned to me that we're not alone here with the salt issue.
No, I've spoken with the guys that have delivered the salt and just word from around towns, the other towns have actually run out.
Okay.
The same story.
Is there any way to limit, what we're using to, or are you already just doing critical areas? Like bridges and,
We've definitely done it back, waiting till the end of the storm if possible,
yeah,
doing it once versus, 2, 3 times in a storm.
I think we ought to let the sand bids out as soon as possible. Cause, they could have a chance to, draw it in when they don't have anything to do. And sand's gonna be hard to get and pricey.
Do it now.
That's what I would recommend, is you get it out to bid and see what the prices are. There's no sense waiting till fall.
right,
And I mean, if we can get somebody to. We can get buy the sand from and pay them after July 1st.
Right.
I think that's what we usually write in the contract, that payment wouldn't come until after July 1.
Did you wanna check around for bids? I mean,
We can work together and write up some
Okay.
specs for that
Okay.
and put it out to bid.
have an updating what we've done previously.
Mhm.
How's the sand, right now, I mean, was, well,
We're definitely gonna make the year,
okay,
ice storms are the ones that seem to really put that in the bottom. On average, just snowy winter, we'd be really, really good shape, but. You throw in like the ice storms and that really,
we've had one good one.
yeah.
hmm. Thanks so much for what you guys are doing.
There's a couple of other ones, shit.
Yeah. Additional cell phone for the assistant foreman.
So I reached out to AT&T, who we have the phones through now. And it would be an additional $40 per month to add a line. Travis and I have talked a little bit about it. We don't know if there's a strong need to have an additional phone.
How did this come up? Just out of curiosity, I didn't realize, did I miss the conversation in the last meeting?
Well, I think it was brought up in one of the budget meetings this past fall.
Okay.
Just,
Just curious.
yeah, I think expressing interest in the, have that.
Right, and have more
Yeah.
phones, yeah.
I don't know if you wanted to mention more about that.
What's your feeling?
Kind of talking with David, he was kind of either way about it. The benefit would be the email, and the cameras. Other than that, it would be just a matter of having to load 2 phones around, so I'm not entirely sure.
Cameras for documenting road condition, with it.
Yeah, no, we use this one quite a bit to check the streets, when it snows or squalls,
Okay,
to see if it's actually worth going to check the roads. So,
Yeah. Not a lot, $40, but I don't know. Come on.
Yeah, it's not a lot. I think if it's a benefit, I'd say yes, do it, but it's not gonna be such a benefit. But I was thinking if you're out, you would give them your phone,
generally, I leave the phone.
Yeah.
playing, and I'll
so we'd have communication
Yeah.
and. What's your thoughts? Any other thoughts?
does it sound like either one of your days really feel you need it?
I don't know, I guess, and sit down and actually, what we.
If you need it, you need it, but you don't sound like you're pushing for it.
Yeah, maybe I can just talk to David and see
Get a better.
what's gonna get out of it, based on this.
Yeah, recheck. I'm either way with it
Okay,
myself, but
I say.
Not a lot,
Just-
so we should make sure
Right.
that it's,
you're not jumping up and down, want this phone, you know?
well, yeah, that's,
So get back to us at maybe the
Yeah,
next meeting or
That's
something.
fine.
Certificate of highway mileage for 2026.
So each year, the V-Trans sends a highway mileage certificate. We did not add or subtract any highway mileage this past year. So it would stay the same and all of the select board members just would have to sign in the back box here. And we would just need a motion to accept. So it's just a total of, class 1, 2, 3 for legal trails and that's it. Yeah.
This is the total mileage of roads and trails in the town,
Yes.
and it hasn't changed.
No, it has not changed since last year.
Right, I'd make a motion to accept this certificate of highway mileage.
Yes, second. Anything else for other, for highway? Okay. Kim, clerk and treasurer.
It's mainly a lot of reminders, our third tax payment is coming due February 17th. Not the 15th, because the 16th is the holiday President's Day, so we would, so that move to the 17th. We have a dog clinic, as a reminder, on the 31st, on Saturday, from 10 to 12 here in the town office. Grafton residents can receive a free rabies shot. Thank you to GIA. They're also offering, lepto and distemper also for another additional $26. But that's not being covered by GIA. Petitions for office, for running for office are due Monday, the 26th. At 4 o'clock. And that will constitute what makes up my ballot, and I can start making the ballot at that point. Monday, I am going to be sending off the town report, the draft copy to, Red House Press. Usually it takes them about 2 to 3 days. We should have our town reports. And I'm hoping to have them in time, so people come in to pay their taxes, they can also take a town report with them. So we do not have to mail them. And after tonight, if the warning does pass, if I can just remind Morgan to send it off to Wendy, and that covers us for not mailing out our town reports because it's being published. I have, heard from Jenna from Selectboard Powers that our draft audit has been sent to me. There's a couple more changes she's going to make in it. I was just pushing to get her balance sheets to make sure my balance matches what's in the town report. And they do, the single audit was performed here last Thursday morning, and Rick from Sullivan Powers. So she was waiting for that, a few more tweaks on that, which I guess went well. Few questions, but pretty much Morgan had everything organized. So as soon as I hear back from Jenna, which will probably be by Thursday, I'll probably have the final copy. And then they'll send us hard copies, then we'll make an appointment for one of the representatives to zoom in and go over our audit with us. No surprises in it. I think it looks pretty good, we were not in a deficit. Last year we had a deficit of 25,000. Which is the way the timing was, this year we do not have that deficit, so that's my main goal.
It's always good.
Yeah, that's all I've got.
Well, thank you for all your work.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
So I love seeing that.
Yeah.
It's complete.
Yeah, and the report.
Yeah,
And the
report, so we should be getting them in the connected letter. She's not drafted that yet, telling us what we've done wrong or what we need to, work on. That you guys can sign off, so I'll share that with all of you as soon as I get it.
Okay. Does anyone have anything else for Kim? Committee reports, cemetery committee, anything?
Me and Buzz met last Wednesday for a couple hours
Oh,
and
good.
talked over Holtonville Cemetery and, the land that we acquired on 35 and the Selectboard Cemetery. I'll let Buzz tell you what we've come up with.
Well, we talked about the right of way, in Houghtonville. I think we kind of agreed that, they've asked to change it and there would be a cost to that. I don't think the town can pick up. Well, it's primarily, if we were going to expand the cemetery to the other side of the right of way,
Mhm.
the landowner that, would be kind of hemmed in a little bit by that. And it would be part of his land, would want ask for a right of way change. Actually looking at it, I think he has room to access the land, appropriately. And I think we agree the benefit for the expansion would get us probably not there. We still need to look at 35. Is it going to be good use for cemetery? I know Forester is gonna be looking at the land for, is there any value in trees that are there that we might get some funds? And then have to look on, we talked about, could you actually use it for a cemetery? John mentioned it might be cremation only. Option. So we could look at that, so, I think we don't change Houghtonville, at this point. In the right of way, something we could look at is there's some gigantic trees in there that probably do have a lot of value. And right now, the right of way is not usable anyway because those trees are there, but there might be some timber there that, is worth harvesting, for the town. At some point, and generate some funds. We also talked about upkeep in the cemeteries and how do we possibly improve it. We talked about volunteers. I believe John talked to Kim and there's a concern about liability. If you have volunteers, what's that?
Yeah, that was source of.
Yeah, I know that there are towns, I know I've read about one or two in northern Vermont that do that. They may just ignore the liability, but that is a dangerous game. But we also talked about increasing the cost of the plots. They are relatively inexpensive right now. I think we should look and determine what we think it should be, and that would go into the fund that exists.
Yeah.
And then we could use some of that revenue, hopefully, to continue repairs like we did with Fenton and Hennessy on the seven stones.
Yeah.
There were certain numbers, and I know that's a limited fund, so. How could we generate some additional funds for taking care of the stones themselves when they need maintenance? And I guess the last part would be, do we expand a little bit on the bids for upkeep? Right now, they're about mowing, but trees are approaching in some of the cemeteries. So, if we do that, we may have to look at specifically what we need for cemetery and include that in the RFPs that they're asking for. Middletown, there's a tree that's coming over kind of the west wall, right in the middle. And the village cemetery, I know there was a tree that was taken care of, but there's a lot of kind of duff needles in there that haven't been cleaned. They used to get cleaned by Don Morris. He was, and that was probably a part of our conversation as well, is cemetery agent.
Yeah.
After Don Lawrence, I don't think we really have that. It is until Steve retires, maybe use it. It is a job that I think historically a lot of retirees and people in town that had an interest in maintaining those cemeteries and an attachment to them. There's a lot of the stones that are kind of abandoned now. Families, I think, used to take care of the,
Mm.
you know, the grave sites.
No,
And, you know, there's, a lot of families that are just not in the area anymore. So that's not happening, individually as much. It does happen, right? You'll go up, you'll see, my sister and I went up and, we started looking at extended family. I was telling John, there were two gravestones that we couldn't even read them. Because there were brambles all over them, but when we kind of pushed them back, we could see it was, the Bloods, which are relations of ours distantly, so, well, on my mom's side. So we took care of that, right? But there are a lot of them that's just not happening by the families anymore, so is there a way that we can, keep them, you know, taken care of?
right. So you're thinking a cemetery agent could do that? Some of that.
The right person, I
Right.
think, like Don Lawrence, he was always, he was always at one of the cemeteries and he just took care of
You
it.
did a lot.
You know, he did a lot.
He even dug the holes for,
Yeah.
cremation.
If you can find the right person, yeah, I think maybe, they would be interested in that. So maybe that's something that, you know, we, throw out there to the public, maybe that's even a town meeting discussion that, you know, we can,
Mm.
generate some awareness, right, of the issue.
Yeah, good
Because it
point.
really is a shame that, you know, some of the stones are falling over. There's one in the village cemetery that fell over as essentially, I don't know if it can be repaired, it's in pieces. You know, and it is, you know, we have Memorial Day, right, where we honor veterans and, you know, we put the wreath out. But it should be part of our responsibility, I think.
Yeah,
You know, as a town and select board.
especially the village cemetery with the fence. I
Yeah,
mean, that needs.
and John, we did talk about that, he said there was a plan to put the fence in. And we had talked about having a, you know, kind of a work bee, right, and that used to be pretty common, here in town, at the churches. In some of the areas, but maybe takes you back to the liability. I don't know if there's like a release that we get signed, because I think if we got 7 or 8 people, we could put a fence in and
Yeah, it's the fence.
We did the big one by the
Right, the
road.
road blood.
Yeah.
Looking inside the cemetery, if you look over.
Yeah, there's-
I had pictures.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
It's just falling apart, and then there's a lot of brambles and,
so.
But-
So we didn't necessarily came up with a lot of solutions.
So identified problem.
We identified a lot of problems and that we need to, you know, pursue those.
We also decided we would probably meet every 2 or 3 weeks to discuss these things more.
So can I ask a question about the liability situation? How is the liability working in the cemetery per se? Different than the liability working in the parks, like the town parks?
That's what we were talking about earlier today, and we would have to check with the LCT and see.
Yeah,
Or can they do a hold harmless? But a hold
Right.
harmless doesn't hold any weight
yeah,
when it comes to workers' comp.
We do have a liability form that the park volunteers
Mhm.
sign
Oh,
on a yearly
okay.
basis, but
Okay,
Yeah,
I don't think it's been revisited in quite a few years.
yeah, cause
I think-
arguably it's the same issue. Though that, all sorts of
Yeah.
things, I mean, we're a little, talk about the horses on the barn, that. A lot of that work's been done by the volunteers already, and this juncture in the parks, the only volunteer work would be. You know, cleaning up the garden, if, you know, the. Whatever's around the gazebo or whatever, I mean, it's not a lot that we. Most of it would be in our RFP for. The maintenance would be covered by that, so, but just curious, I mean.
all it takes is somebody falling, breaking a leg, you know,
Well-
when they're doing. Things that you think aren't
Right.
hazardous, but.
And I think we'll probably get the same answer from the LCT as we have right along. It came up at one of our conferences that we just went to for our W-2s and our 1099s. And we got talking about it and, our instructor gave the example that she worked in an office, I think it was in Putney. And the gardeners were out front and then garden in the morning and do a beautiful job. But they had no workers' comp. They had no insurance, but they said they didn't need to. It's okay, we won't be here when you see us. We were like, that's not the point.
Yeah, exactly.
So, do away, they said a wonderful job they did. They had to do away with the gardeners.
Yeah,
So I think we're gonna just revisit the same thing.
Okay,
Yeah, I think it's
We
worth
check.
looking into.
Check it.
yeah,
and, yeah, there used to be a lot of, well, I guess not, a lot of church volunteers, but the cemeteries are separate, they're more public.
They're owned by us, with our liability and their,
But I would like to ask, cause other towns are certainly facing that as well, right?
yeah, and then, but also remember when we checked into other towns, they kind of trying to ignore
Ignore it, and,
that rule, they're like, yeah, well, it's okay, they're not worried about it. So
yeah,
that's whether you wanna go by the book or not.
yeah.
yeah,
I did have a question, you talked about probably logging. Maybe there might be a little bit of revenue
Mhm.
up by one of the, some of the cemeteries.
yeah,
If there is that anything instead of going in? Well, it depends if you
Well-
wanna start the general fund generating money and putting money towards it. Or is it something you want to put in the trustee of public funds, the same where we put it in lots of graves, like you're saying, increase the cost of the lots, which I think would help.
that is the other option, and I would think if it's like the land on 35, we plan to use for a cemetery and the right of way by the cemetery. I think it would make sense to go into that. That's fine.
The guy was gonna look at it in the spring, so. you know.
Yeah, there is a forester who's good.
But I'm just thinking that, and then it will get caught up into the general fund and be depleted or rolled over
Yeah,
unless we set up a reserve and it is specifically by the town's vote that any money generated would go into this reserve
Yeah.
or the cemetery. So there'd be other steps, whereas if it,
yeah,
I think the reserve fund would do well.
How did it work with the logging at the village park? Was that put into the general?
and then it went
fund?
into the general fund.
Okay,
That was that, part of the town meeting articles that was all voted on?
That's what they did twice, we logged twice, we logged
Okay.
by the town shed, across from the town shed, and out into the general fund. I think that went towards paying for some of the town garage. And then the village park just went into the maintenance of the village park and the general fund.
I think we put it in front of the voters, to have it go into a fund for this thing.
Yeah, I would definitely like to see it separated, if it's in the general fund, yeah, just for the
Yeah.
cemetery.
Because the maintenance is so,
Be a reserve through voters to keep it just for that.
Yes.
Let us work on those issues and we'll be back to you.
We'll spend some more time.
So question on that right away, you don't think you're gonna need a right away for that Houghtonville expansion?
Well, I think if we do another option, and we don't expand there, and what we talked about, are we really gonna get that much more space?
Now, are we gonna, is it under 800 feet? What we're talking about?
Yeah, I think so. Well, what has happened is one of the owners that wanted to give us the land, now still wants to give the land, but he wants a different right of way into his land. So he keeps adding stuff and as if
Yeah,
somebody's gonna
yeah.
pay for it. And so we've already put probably, I think, $2,500 into it for a survey, and it's really not worth putting a lot of more money into it.
Yeah.
Cause you're not adding that much land to it.
But
How much is the survey?
Survey of the total item that he did was about, I think it was about 25.
I think it was like less than a quarter of an acre.
The total land was about pretty half acre.
Okay.
But I mean, that half acre, you've got 3 stone walls would have to be moved. And you know, it's,
That's a lot.
yeah, and it's wet in there too.
the,
Yeah, but a lot of
other
gray.
issue is where they,
Gray rock.
on the right away, is right next to a pond, and kind of a swampy area, which
Yeah.
might be a problem as well.
And the other landowner didn't want a lot of trees cut so he could see the cemetery. Well, they logged it this winter. And
Because
half of it, you can see right from his house. So.
Don't know what happened there,
So
she told me the same thing.
And it was really a muddy mess in there,
You know,
so I think we gotta wait a while, we got time and we could look at the one on 35 more. Maybe come up with something else.
Okay.
And I just want to, I just want you to keep in mind when you talk about replace or meeting a cemetery agent, just keep in mind, we do have that title already filled.
right, it's not
Yeah,
Austin.
so
Mhm.
I don't know if you wanna rephrase something differently, but we
Yeah,
already
the job
have something
description.
that says cemetery agent.
That's Austin.
Or
Yeah.
use another title or something.
I don't know, nobody's approached him, maybe he would do it.
Yeah,
It's Austin.
Austin,
Howard.
Oh,
it might be the possibility, we maybe not approach him and ask him, he's working for the foundation. But he is a secretary, maybe he might,
yeah, I think be real specific of what the duties would be.
yeah, but he might be able to still work for the foundation and do that too.
And maybe expand.
And maybe that would be some idea.
Expand the
The
wage and the hours, yeah.
We must have a description of the current.
I can look.
Yeah, so you can maybe send that to us, that'd be great, to John.
Yeah.
Hmm.
All right, that's good one.
Thanks for your work. Parks Committee,
I think
Okay.
we're all set, we rewrote our bid and it's been published, and so we have nothing
what else?
as far as that.
So highways, we just talked about the bid, anything on highway? Additional?
The highway's doing a good job, the four people that
Yeah.
they have, and I think the roads are good and people are traveling them. And I think they're doing good, so
You haven't had any complaints?
Just a couple small ones.
But we talk about C.
Did you manage?
They're all.
it's been
Resolve.
Oh, the potholes.
People are starting to say you can tell the difference between where you cross over the grass and mine. Again.
Oh, you can,
Yeah.
for sure,
That used to be
100%.
our very good reputation.
That's why they don't have any salt.
Well, there are trade-offs, right, John?
They create potholes.
Well, we just want our folks to be safe. Personnel Committee accept family leave letter from the town administrator. I had, Morgan send out the letter. Y'all had a chance to maybe read it. Any questions or comments about it? We did get advice from VLCT. Had a couple of conversations with Morgan, so. Entertain a motion to accept it. Any questions before we?
I have one question.
Mhm.
Are you gonna get paid every week or is it so that you don't get paid a couple weeks?
The plan was to spread it out.
So you
To
got paid it,
still get paid.
so where it says in there that if you are
It's just,
out for a couple of weeks where you don't get paid, you have to pay back the. Insurance really doesn't apply.
Not really, no, because the plan was to spread it out before.
Yeah.
Do I have a motion to accept our letter to Morgan?
Someone,
second,
Any discussion? All in favor of accepting, Morgan's leave?
this is getting exciting.
I'll sign this, and do you want other board members to sign this letter also?
The only thing I was gonna mention is that there's a few spots on like the second paragraph where it just has like some dates left blank. I don't know.
Oh, that's the way it was, that I got it from Julie.
Okay,
I
I mean-
so that's something that you and Kim would work out. With, how many days? How are you gonna do each week? Get
okay,
paid
okay,
with your accrued time.
okay.
And I see April should be AP. There's-
Yeah.
Oh,
Can't.
yes,
Thank you. This isn't Morgan's last meeting, is it?
No,
Oh, okay, good.
oh, no, no.
The plan is to be at the next,
Will we know?
the next one will have to be the last one for a while.
You
The
can,
next one?
Yeah, the second. Yeah,
Thank you.
hopefully you won't have it in a big snowstorm.
unless we're all surprised to it's early, but we'll see.
Well, we wish you well, Morgan.
Of course.
And based on that.
Yeah, this bit about you, and if you don't, it's like, there's.
only you did.
July 23rd, select update, Eastman Road tree cutting request for proposals.
I'll give a quick update before we get to the request for proposals. We've been. Well, the single audit went well last week. Kim touched on that briefly. Yeah, I was able to answer all of the questions that they had, which was great. And I had to send some documents after meeting with them, but it all went well, and so hopefully we get a good report from that. With the Eastman Road retaining wall project. It's looking as though we need to go back to FEMA and ask for a scope of work change. Because they are using a cost estimate based on a concrete wall, a poured in place wall. And after meeting with Scott Jensen, he's not comfortable with that as the repair for the wall. So we've been working right along with the engineers to do a interlocking block wall. And I think the pieces just had not been passed on to FEMA, so. I'm hoping that it's a relatively easy change, and I have an email drafted to send to them. Explaining the timeline of events as to why we couldn't go forward with the concrete wall. And why it's important to change into an interlocking block wall rather than the waste blocks. John, do you have anything to add to that piece? What is that? We did get the wetland permit, so that's gonna.
Oh, good.
We got the stream permit.
That's the only thing, well, there's two things holding us up, that's one of them.
Yeah,
And then when we get that, we have to, have the landowner that we're gonna be working on his land sign off on it. And I don't know what that's gonna do, because it must have been 6 months ago, we sent him a form to fill out.
Yeah.
And he did receive it, but he never did anything with it.
Yeah.
ooh,
So I don't know what he's gonna do here, if he's gonna come back and say, I want $5,000, or what he's gonna do, but. No,
Essentially, the easement is granting the town permission to work on that property within the right of way.
So he needs to sign the easement.
Yeah.
Or process the easement.
It's already.
no, so FEMA can process the easements, FEMA.
Okay, he-
Asking, he's the one that's gonna sign.
He's gonna sign it, right? I know. You just said he hasn't done anything, has he communicated at all?
We haven't had any communication with
Okay.
this landowner.
Okay.
is that something Morgan needs to
No,
check back or?
we have been on it, so don't get too involved with it at this point.
Okay. Well, I'm just asking.
We've been involved in this for over a year, and we still are daily. I ask her about this and we work on it, so don't.
No, I get that, I think just in terms of the communication with the
Mhm.
guy.
It's only $500,000, so
Not much.
don't get too excited.
I
We're,
think,
we're right on top of it as much as you can.
Yes, I'm sure he will.
Yeah,
yeah, we sent the letter back in September, received it, but then that never had communication back from them. The next step, we're just gonna try a phone call and see if we can get through that way, and we'll just keep trying.
yeah. We
Yeah.
we can't go too long before we have to
Yeah,
do something.
Yeah,
Is this person out of stater or second homeowner?
No, it's the last house down below Grafton Wyndham Grafton, Chester line on the left. What's his name?
Hacker, last name
Hacker?
Hacker.
I never, nobody I've known,
Their house is in Chester
yeah.
and they just own some land in Grafton.
We
Oh.
used to belong to the news camp over there.
Oh, okay, I know.
Across there. It's nothing that we're gonna do to his land, it's just that
Right.
you're gonna be on it.
Working on it.
You're not gonna do it, but I'm wondering if he's got thoughts that maybe there's some money there.
Well, actually, it's a liability, just have him sign off on any liability goes to the town, not him.
He just should have got back to us on the first letter, and that's what makes sure,
Mm.
we'll take care of it.
We're gonna keep fighting that battle. So the tree cutting, that's another element of this project. There are 5 trees, 6 trees?
5.
Somewhere in there, that we are required to have cut before April 14th of this year. And we have to wait for the wetland permit to get approved in order to cut these trees. So the scope of work pretty much just asks the contractor to come in and cut the trees. They are within the right of way, but there's telephone wires in the way, and I think it's a project bigger than what our crew is comfortable handling. The language in the RFP is pretty standard. I didn't know if you had any questions about that.
It's gonna be done before April 15th.
14th, yeah.
That main reason is because that nests in those trees, and
Mhm.
that's the only time you can do it, to February and April, so that's why we have.
By law.
Yeah,
Yeah, sure.
I don't think it's a very expensive, FEMA's paying for it,
Yeah.
but expensive project, but we've got to send it out to bids.
Okay.
Okay, so send
and
it
the highway crew marked the trees with ribbon the other day, so if the contractor is interested, they can go there and clearly see what needs to be done. There's also an engineering report to go along with it, so.
So are you gonna be working on, before you leave, these bids?
Yeah, I can get that sent out
Yeah,
this week, yeah.
So you'd like a motion to,
To publish the request for proposal.
so moved, a motion to, send out RFP for the tree cutting at Eastman Road.
okay, all in favor of sending out the bids for the tree cutting?
It's a full requirement, so.
All in favor?
I,
Aye. Motion's passed.
I will say it's a very quick turnaround. I have proposals due February 2nd, so we're gonna, I'm going to get to work right away tomorrow. And get this sent out to as many people as we can.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
That's great. So I don't have the kiddo tonight. Review and approve warning for town meeting.
Tim and I have gone over this quite a bit over the last few weeks. I will say I did make some last minute changes this afternoon, and those changes were mostly just language at the very beginning. So the amended version just kind of clears up the top portion, so the legal voters of the town of Grafton are hereby warned and notified to meet at the elementary school on Tuesday, March 3rd at 10 a.m. to transact the following business from the floor. And then it lists out all of the articles. And after consulting with VLCT, the first article that we had seemed wordy and very confusing. It's essentially electing the municipal officers by Australian ballot. So I kept it very simple. Shall the town of Grafton elect all municipal officers by Australian ballot? And voting shall take place on Tuesday, March 3rd, polls open from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. They did review that and they said that looked fine. There was one other change, the totals for the capital budget didn't match 200,000, but that was just a grammatical error, so we straightened that out. Do you have any questions on the warning?
So,
Yes.
Suzanne has one.
Yes,
But
Suzanne.
I defer to the select board before I ask my questions. Unless you want me to go ahead, Kathy.
No, I called
Okay.
on.
I just need my memory refreshed on a couple of things, Kim. So, for Article 4 and Article 5, those numbers are adjusted from the budget because it's, puts and takes that you make.
Right.
Yeah.
On
that's all I
on
need.
that budget
That's all-
sheet, yeah.
That's what I
Revenue
remember.
coming in and minus our budget, yeah.
And then, I just wondered about the library. Is it it must not be a separate article, it's just a line item in the budget?
The library, which one is
The
that?
$12,000 for the library, is that a separate article or is that just a line item?
It's in our budget.
Okay,
It's a line item in our budget.
okay,
So I don't know, should make it there. No, they're in our general fund.
okay, yeah. Those are my questions.
Okay, any other comments? Do you need a motion?
Yes, to accept the warning.
So,
You second it, Buzz?
Yeah.
All in favor of the warnings for town meeting, March third,
Aye.
right? Okay, motion passed.
And then if you could all just sign the second page. And we will publish it in the Graphic News and on bulletin boards. All of those places.
So thanks so much, Kim and Morgan.
Yeah.
Your work on that. So I know, when we have the warrants, or the articles, pre-town meeting. Does any of the select board want to select any particular article to talk about, or we're gonna do this all as a group?
decide as a group, I think it's better. Not everybody knows everything about the article.
Is that,
That's all we did it last year, nothing.
Yeah.
Good.
Can I ask a question about the pre-town meeting also?
yeah,
Since Morgan's not going to be here for that, and Michelle and I will be setting up. Do you plan on setting up as the select board being up front to answer questions during pre-town meeting, or just have someone conduct the meeting and you're gonna be sitting in the audience and you'll just stand up and answer the questions? How?
I think last year we had the whole board sit up
Up
at the
front.
table and
Yeah,
kind
the
of give her a quick summary.
Yeah, makes
Yeah.
more sense.
And are you having a candidate forum?
pre-town meeting, we usually have,
Pre-town meeting.
yeah,
Just
yeah.
wanna verify everything, make sure we're all on the same
Yeah.
page.
Why don't we have a candidates meeting on the other positions in town, like lister, auditor, like that?
That's fine too. I don't,
I guess that's
I
the
mean-
question, I was curious, they wanna know the selectmen's views on what's going on. Maybe somebody would like to know how the taxes are,
Yeah,
look, yeah.
no, that's a good point.
Just
Right.
wondered.
Oh, I didn't.
I think anybody's welcome to participate in this one.
I just hope we get people out of pre-town meeting and.
Did pretty good attendance last year. I thought there was quite an attendance last year.
You got mine.
I thought it was good attendance last year.
Yeah,
I think
and
that's
then-
amazing.
Well, yeah, last year we had the select board go first and then the school board went second and then we went into a candidates forum afterwards.
Yeah.
You can have it any way you want it to, whatever makes sense.
Maybe open it up after to other people if they wish, as opposed to.
Just select.
I think we had a couple of people stand up and talk about other positions.
Yeah,
I can't recall, I don't know if it was last year or the year before.
I don't think there's an issue.
But we don't usually have I mean, they look at the select board as the leaders and leading the town, not so much on the other positions.
Mhm.
Usually there's not a fight for any of the positions, like,
Yeah,
the only one you usually a fight for is either JP for the first time ever, and then select board
This year, the JP,
last year.
last
I don't
year,
remember we had all the JPs running,
yeah,
I think we had 7 that ran,
Yeah,
and that's a first, like, since I've been.
and not this year, doesn't seem to be.
They're every 2 years,
Ah,
so we won't see it here. They stay with us 2 years.
and have you gotten any other petitions for select board members or?
Every position is gonna be filled, I have, the moderator, every position has someone, but not everything is back yet. So,
that's something.
still missing some.
Okay. Cool. Okay, no other questions, we can move on to Weston and Sampson follow-up discussion. We did amend the agreement. We already voted on the proposal, but we amended it because it had the 10-year. Is there any other discussion about Weston and Sampson?
I have a question. Why is the person that you let the contract out to make up the contract?
I know there was lots of different figures that had to be, because it was a 10-year and they had that whole grant.
I think that'd be kind of a conflict if they're the ones who got the contract and they wrote up the contract. Did we give this contract to a lawyer? To look over?
Did he look at it?
No.
No, I'm against it. I just don't think you don't
Well, I
normally do
know,
that.
I know that the planning commission had a couple meetings about it. We had a discussion here.
I think that specialist spent quite a bit of time with that. I don't think they just had a free hand, he worked with them on the time. And then we did review it. On the planning commission, so.
And it was your recommendation to the board.
Yeah.
Right.
And then, I know, Suzanne, you had questions on the overall.
Yeah.
Schedule of events, and there was an email back. I know it was on a Zoom call last time, I was.
Yeah. So how did that turn out, Buzz?
I brought up the question and concern at the planning commission, we had a
Thank you.
3-hour planning commission meeting. And we did, we're trying to use as much of the remaining funds as possible. And the water testing seemed like a good logical use of the funds that would benefit the town. And we felt that a 10-year testing period would be best to get, the tracking that you would want for a program of that sort. And so that's how we lined it out in the original RFP. And we got responses on that, but then I think it was the VLCT came back, well, no, not the
No,
VLCT, I'm
it
sorry.
was the.
The state.
The Agency
Was-
of Natural Resources?
Right, it was providing the funds, said you cannot use funds past the planned year. So maybe we were being optimistic, or they felt we were trying to get around them. So they came back with that limitation, and because of that, we had to cut it back. We even did talk to the vendor about any options about prepay, and they weren't comfortable with that. Which, probably the state wouldn't have done either.
No.
But we did try to, look at the options there. So that's why it got cut back, but we have also talked to, the state, and they feel that there are other,
Grants.
grants that will be available.
Oh,
And there are several from, Vermont, Water Quality Commission.
yeah.
Don't quote me on that name. But they do, there are state of Vermont grants that are focused around water quality. And so we're already planning to apply for those grants for the subsequent years. So it's unfortunate that, it doesn't give us the confidence that we're covered up front for 10 years. But we do feel that there will be other grants that we need for subsequent year testing. And that's how that evolved.
And one of the things that Matt had spoken a couple of times to, I can't remember his name, but he mentioned if you find something, can you, want you to consider what grants do we pursue if there's a problem.
Yeah, now, keep in mind as well that this is testing only to create a baseline so that we understand, if things are holding, true, are things getting worse, are they getting better? It's not for remediation. If we do find something that requires remediation, that's gonna be a separate funding source that we'll have to figure out.
Well, first of all, I thank you very much for following up on that question. And also, I thank you for coming up with a Hail Mary that didn't get intercepted. I think that providing a baseline, I think it was Anna who asked at the last meeting, is there anything we can get out of this? And the planning commission figured something we could get out of this.
Yeah.
And I think, that's as positive as it can possibly be at this point.
Thank you.
And I thank you.
And I'll take the thanks, but I will say Matt and Eric.
Yeah.
Andy
And Matt and people had,
We went to several meetings, it wasn't
kept
just,
forging on.
we're gonna pick this one, went through it, and Matt did a lot of work on it.
And Eric, Stevens was so keen on getting a baseline, and I think this will be very useful to the town. I do think it's interesting, ARC, that we started out with
Yeah.
4 million, and now we're gonna spend 40,000, 1% of what we originally
Zeros.
had available to us, but some costs done over. And let's move forward and get this good baseline and see where we go from here. I'm gonna thank you again, planning commission.
So that work will commence
Yeah.
soon,
Yes.
springtime?
Yes.
Give us a
I forget
date.
the exact date, but it is soon.
Great.
So what do you need for us now, just to, we approve the agreement?
Yeah, just a motion approving it, and then, there are lines on the fourth page for select board signatures.
Are you, I know you have a question on it, but are you good?
Well, I'm fine, I'm not against it, I just feel it's odd that this person that's doing the work
Yeah.
writes up the contract without us,
Well, there's
what the heck, looking at it, but our line.
a lot of things, there's a lot of technical stuff that
Hmm?
we couldn't.
Well, I'm
put it
not
on.
arguing with
They
you.
had to do that,
I just know we can't
yeah,
do a lot of things right that
Yeah.
way.
Right, in general, that's not common practice or accepted practice.
We need a motion.
to accept,
Motion.
okay.
So,
No, second.
great. All in favor?
I-
Western Sampson's, agreement,
so we,
Yeah, I know there's not enough lines.
and you can get that out to him,
Yeah.
Maria.
Yeah, I'll send them.
But thank you, everybody, for your patience.
Huge amount of work.
Thank Matt.
Thank you.
Planning
Yeah.
Commission.
Planning commission and water people and everybody. It's tremendous.
a lot of discussion on this. So,
Any other business? Any public comment?
Hi, I do. It's Charlie Bonin. Jeanette and I also want to wish Morgan best wishes. And so the board knows, we met Morgan years ago when we considered her running the inn. And we used to come in and say, Morgan, could we have a couple of cookies? And she always allowed us to have them. So
Oh,
Morgan, best wishes to you.
Thank you so
Must-
much.
Thank you. Okay, bye. Bye,
Thank you,
Morgan.
Jeff.
Bye. Thank you. Bye.
I had no authority to hand out cookies like that, but that's okay.
I know Suzanne's there, so she's watching, so it's all right.
Now it's public.
Now it's candy in your candy dish.
Now it's candy downstairs.
Yeah.
Okay, our next regular meeting is Monday, February 2nd, 2026 at 6 P.M. Need a motion to adjourn.
Second.
So safe travels. Thank you, everybody.
God willing, Morgan will be here.
Oh, yeah.